Solid.
Hi, everybody. How's it going?
Going good. How about you?
Good, thank you. Thanks for tuning in, folks at home. We're getting started now, so excuse me while I rearrange some windows real quick. And we're going to move that there. And we're going to move this down here.
Whatever, good enough.
All right, so that's my camera. Hi. I'm a professional.
Where am I looking?
Exactly. So, hi everybody. Ben, Ravi,
Samson,
Andrew.
I'm being.
Finger gun.
Exactly. Haha. So, we are very excited to be bringing you the first episode of Ravensdale Roleplays Ravnica, the first official episode. Last time we did some character creation and stuff like that. This time we're actually going to get down to brass tacks and roll some dice and play some stuff and roleplay and kill monsters and, you know, whatever's going to happen. Mm-hmm. So, let's do a quick round of introductions for your characters, if you don't mind, just to remind everybody who you are.
All right, I am playing a Naga. My name is Yuzeth Vismala. Gonna be Black Mage Affinity, and I am from, I forget.
Amonkhet.
Amonkhet.
Yes.
I'm Stripe, the werewolf / moody teenager from Innistrad.
He listens to a lot of The Cure, you know, things like that.
Yeah, that's my jam. My jam. Yeah, red affinity or affinity for magic, mana, that kind of stuff. That's me.
Mm-hmm. And I'm Ulala Kaluru Kiral. I am a merfolk with a green affinity, coming from Ixalan.
I'm going to go ahead and move this just a little closer, I think. Just because I'm not quite sure how the sound quality's come through. Mm-hmm. So those of you at home, let us know if the audio is good or not, if I need to move it, the microphone anywhere. Just let us know if you can't hear something. And I'm actually going to turn down the background music because it got super loud.
That's always the fun part, trying to balance everything.
There we go. I kind of want just little hints of the music, more so than anything.
Sounds good.
So, yeah, those are our characters. They're all Planeswalkers in the Magic the Gathering Ravnica setting. The Planeswalker class is a homebrew class that I came up with. I will toss a link up in the chat a little bit later. But they are all on the city, on the world of, I guess it's technically the same thing, of Ravnica.
City plane.
City plane, yeah, it's like a whole world that is encompassed by one big city. Kind of like Coruscant in Star Wars, if you're a Star Wars nerd. So, yeah, that's where they're at. So we just talked about this, and we decided that they are all sharing a spark. So those of you who are familiar with the Magic Gathering lore and Planeswalkers and stuff like that, they basically all sparked at the same time, and the spark split off into 3 different people. I don't know if that's possible in the canon, but it is now because this is my game, so fight me. All right, so...
That was in the comments.
So yeah, that's where we start off. What do you guys know about Ravnica as a setting?
As a character or?
As a player.
As a player.
Yeah.
Basically, it's just a big city with a bunch of guilds fighting each other.
Okay.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Home of Jace, and
He is the living guild pact right now,
Yep.
yes.
there are 10 guilds that are all 10 different versions of the two colors.
Yep.
In Magic. There's a lot of people.
Okay.
Yeah. That's
All right.
where I'm at, too.
Sums it up.
So,
I have some cards for you, but that's about it.
the Guildmaster's Guide to Ravnica book was great because it provided a lot of setting information as far as like how the city is kind of set up, like the different districts and stuff like that. So the main focus of the book is District 10, or the 10th District, which is basically like the capital portion of the city. And that district is divided up into 6 different precincts. So Precinct 1 is where a lot of the governmental stuff happens. Mm-hmm. You know, Precinct 2 is, you know, there's some... Precinct 2, I forget, actually. I'll come back to that. But, like, Precinct 6 is where a lot of Simic experiments happen and stuff like that. So they all kind of have affiliations with different guilds. right now, you guys, being unaffiliated with any guild and not being of particular means, financially speaking, you guys are starting off in... I have a map for this.
Precinct 9 3/4.
Yes, Precinct 9 3/4.
We're just gonna get everything in this back in order.
Yeah. Where is that? So. So, did we all poof right next to each other, or?
Yep, you basically all appeared literally at the exact same moment within like 10, 15 feet of each other. So, and that has happened a while ago, so it's not happening now. A matter of probably a few months.
Okay.
Because that's giving you time to kind of get established with like kind of knowing some people and figuring the place out a little bit.
Gotcha.
So that's the idea behind that. There's something sticky on this map and it bothers me. Anyways, so here is a map of the 10th District.
Ooh.
That's a lot of buildings.
It's the whole, everything is city. It's all city, all the time, everywhere.
Yep. There are some green
I guess,
areas,
yeah.
but they're pretty rare.
What was I thinking?
So you guys have the choice of starting, like, kind of making your base of operations Precinct 4, which is made up of the Boros. There are a lot of, like, the Izzet have a fair presence here. The Gruul hang out in the area. They're kind of in the northern part of the Red Wastes with a bunch of, like, debris and ruins of part of the city that were destroyed a long time ago and never rebuilt. Or you could just choose to be hanging out in Precinct 6, which is where a lot of shady stuff happens. And I'll pass those maps around real quick while I pull up the book.
So,
There it is.
I don't know. Do you know, is each of the first 5 precincts like tied to a color and 6 is just a mishmash?
So they're all kind of, they all
Smelting
have different guilds getting involved.
Okay.
So
Alright, that's fine. I was just trying to figure out.
Precinct 6. Large warehouses, major thoroughfares, and nondescript worker tenements make the utilitarian Precinct 6 a hub of activity for shipping, storage, and other mercantile concerns in the 10th District. Wide cobblestone streets allow for the passage of beasts and constructs that transport raw goods from points beyond the 10th and for the shipping of manufactured materials. The demands of commerce keep the area constantly active, and the inconspicuous nature of the warehouses makes them popular as rendezvous points for all sorts of transactions, legal and illicit. At night, lurking undead and the horrors of the Undercity coming up from Deadbridge Chasm keep wary citizens indoors, while a few people who deal in sinister magic seek the monsters out for nefarious purposes. People who live in this working-class precinct are often practical-minded and thus tolerant of some degree of illicit activity. Being a good neighbor means keeping to yourself, unless you live in the Smelting Quarter, where that atmosphere is much more raucous. So there are like Rakdos nightclubs that operate there. The Orzhov Syndicate owns a lot of the warehouses. The Golgari Swarm can be found here because they come up out of the Deadbridge Chasm. And the Boros Legion also has a number of warehouses here, so they kind of have a bit of a presence.
Okay.
Whereas Precinct 4, few days or nights pass quietly in Precinct 4. The frequent din of battle as Boros soldiers guard against Gruul marauders, the strange sounds of volatile magic emanating from Izzet experiments, and the occasional explosive flare-ups of goblin gang wars keep the precinct a dynamic and dangerous place. Its buildings include ramshackle tenements damaged by conflict, impregnable fortresses and laboratories, and bustling markets filled with merchants ready to defend themselves and their wares. The people of Precinct 4 are always ready for a fight. Being able to defend oneself and adapting to change are the most important qualities in this precinct. Good neighbors are your battle mates when you're fighting for your home or your life.
That sounds stressful.
Right? Alright. So you guys get to choose which one of those is your base of operations. Like where you are currently renting a room.
What do you think? I think, like, honestly, Precinct 6 sounds like the place where we could probably get the most information from and kind of get into trouble or whatever, but I don't know. It's up to you guys.
I like 6.
Ooh,
I mean,
You okay?
It's choking.
you'll be okay.
Do you need us to mute the mic for a second?
It's all about being human. You know?
Sometimes you got to test that humanity by breathing in a bunch of water.
Yep.
Don't worry, folks. Nobody will die on camera. Well, no players will die on camera. Or off camera. I realize that sounded really sinister. Hi, Ollie. Come on. Come on.
I don't know. It's up to you guys.
I like 6 just because.
Shady characters?
Shady characters.
Yeah.
Moody teenager. I don't want to be around all the hubbub.
All right, yeah. So the smelting, what was it called?
Smelting quarter?
Yeah. You can just throw them up here.
Yeah, we can keep them easy access for us.
So for those of you who can see all the way to the end of the table, actually you can only barely see his feet, my cat has decided to join the game. Hi. As they are so common, they're so frequent to do. Hi, buddy. Hi. Yeah. Go on. Oh, you're caught. Yeah, there we go. Ah. No, I want you to go to the floor. Come on. Good boy. All right. So you guys are hanging out in the... No. Sorry, this is going to be a bit of a fight until I finally get my cat to agree, to understand the concept here. No, you cannot go up on the table right now. All right, so you guys are hanging out in the Precinct 6, the smelting quarter. That tends to be where most people crash when they live in this area. So it's kind of the most residential location.
Okay.
Fine. You can sit over there, but that is it.
There's lots of room over here.
Yeah.
Can I pet you?
All right. So, what do you guys get up to during the day? Like, talk to me about your characters a little bit. What's your usual routine?
So basically, I think we're trying to figure out what the hell's going on with us, right? So, just kind of walking around, trying to quote unquote bang on as many doors as possible and get information about anything and everything Planeswalker, so we can figure out what's going on.
Okay.
Right.
Trying to figure out why we sparked all at the same time and what that means.
The significance of it.
Okay. So how... Those of you who are familiar with the setting for Magic the Gathering and whatnot, how common knowledge is... Or how common is knowledge of Planeswalkers? Like, do people in general know that these people exist? Is it mostly just people in power that know they exist?
That's a good question.
I feel like people either make themselves known
Well,
and
okay.
lead, or like use their power for hiding.
I mean, some of them definitely are, like the Guild Pact, like they
know. Well, yeah, I guess all of them know about Jace now.
Okay.
especially here, I
Yeah.
would imagine. I mean, most of the guilds are ran by Planeswalkers. So.
Okay. That makes sense. So there's a certain amount of knowledge surrounding Planeswalkers. So you guys are able to kind of like ask around and try to get some information. Most people that you talk to are like, yeah, we know what those are, in the same way people are like, yeah, we kind of know like what satellites are, but nobody really knows. A lot of people don't know how they work on average.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So,
You guys are 3 parts of the same satellite?
right? So yeah, trying to get in with anybody who has knowledge of that kind of stuff has proven kind of difficult for you guys. But you've made some inroads. You actually have an ally that is a member of the Boros Legion.
Yeah.
All right.
Captain Drakmir.
Yes.
Captain Bane.
Captain Bane. So Captain Drakmir, he is a Minotaur, I believe, if that's correct. Yep. He is a Minotaur in the Boros Legion, and he is a sergeant? No, he's a captain, right. This is part of his rank. Jeez. And he was just recently promoted to the Sunhome Guard. You actually met him before he was promoted.
Okay.
So,
I knew him before he was a big time.
Yeah.
So,
He actually, the reason you came into contact with him is he thought you were a Simic experiment at one point, and he kind of approached you and like tried to figure out what the hell was going on.
I get that a lot.
Yeah. And then when he realized you were not from here, he kind of like backed off in an official capacity and was like, if you don't cause any trouble. If you need anything, let me know. This can be kind of a rough place. So
I got in with the militia,
exactly,
the military wing of Ravnica.
Mm-hmm.
You're just the man.
Who do you guys know for each guild? Is that okay for me to know that as well? Or
I'm
Yeah,
assuming
sure,
you
we
guys shared
talked about it.
information. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
Maybe.
so maybe.
Maybe. What's it worth to you?
Yeah, it's a shakedown.
You're going there already. Okay.
I know Ludmilla, who is one of the 3 sisters of
Stone Death.
Stone Death.
Yeah.
Basically a find broker. They broker deals on me scavenging stuff and selling it to other people.
Yep. So Ludmilla is really good at getting people what they need, whether it's information or objects or whatever, and whether they be legal or not. Now Ludmilla is a Medusa, so she is
Stone Death.
Yeah. So she's serious business.
Yep.
She hangs out in the Undercity, so not like in the precincts. She actually hangs out in like the crypts underneath the city.
Golgari HQ.
Exactly. But you've kind of picked up that she's not necessarily in good with the leadership of the Golgari right now.
No.
So she's taken an interest in you specifically, though, at the moment.
It's because I'm so cute.
Yes. What's your charisma?
My charisma is 14.
Oh, actually, you are kind of cute. Okay.
Very cute.
Kind of one of those, like, just baby-faced, adorable emo teenagers.
That's-
Yes, you're so goth. Aren't you just the goth?
My life is so hard.
Yeah, exactly. And
I
yeah.
know the Briar Blade. They're the head dryad of the Vernati.
So Vernati is basically an enclave for Selesnya. It's
Okay.
basically one of their communities.
Okay.
So, and she actually is... She's one of the most militant of the dryads.
Okay.
She's actually... Her enclave, or her Verdani, is posted right, like, at the northern part of Precinct 3. Right where a lot of, like, Gruul and everything like that start to... like try to invade through and stuff like that. So
Okay.
she's kind of like the first line of defense. So she's got a very, very practical, very militant mindset.
Okay.
And for whatever reason, she has decided that she is really, really intrigued by you, and she's keeping an eye on you. So
Makes me feel special.
yeah, you might be able to leverage that for some information or for other stuff, depending on how it goes. Yes, Ollie is the DM's assistant.
Yeah.
He's
doing a great job.
Yeah, as a cat, he has opted to go on a break. I'm sure he'll be back eventually, but
Yeah, you know what though? Until the DM rolls wrong, and then you see the cat swipe the die over, and all of a sudden some stuff's happening. I don't know. You guys got to keep an eye on that cat.
seriously.
Just get a puppet stick that looks like Ollie's hand. Just go,
Exactly. I don't like that roll. Let's just modify that. a
oh,
little.
Ollie, what are you doing?
The cat roll.
All right, so you guys are out and about, kind of doing your stuff. Do you guys usually go off in your separate directions? Do you usually stick together?
I don't like these people.
You don't like these
Well,
people?
I do like these people, but I'm a rebellious teenager, and I can't be seen hanging out with like fish face over here. Well, not she's fish face, and
Rude, but
Snake
okay.
dude.
Snack dude.
Snack dude, yeah.
Snake. Danger tube.
They probably wouldn't like getting dirty in the grimy sewer like me. So
This is Robbie, yes. Ah, wait, no, move him over here. Ah, stay up there.
although I guess that's
He's kinda
rule number
squished a
one,
little
don't
bit,
break up
yes.
the party.
That is Robbie in the frame.
Well, I don't know that we have to necessarily always be together, but we should definitely.
Try not to.
Yeah, I mean, especially if we're connected somehow, like there's got to be some.
Yeah.
I'm suspicious that something's tied into.
I imagine on my average day, I am not hanging out with them. Maybe I'll come home and have dinner with them.
That's all Mom asks.
So long,
what you're
as I
making.
don't get seen with you guys, okay?
Okay.
Your snake dad and mermaid mom.
So
Okay.
I think for me, I would like to kind of, as I start almost every campaign, I want to head to like a pub and see what's
Insane.
going on with the underbelly of the city.
What time are you going?
midday. Sounds
Okay.
good.
Yeah.
So midday, there's a lot of activity in Precinct 6. The reason I ask is because if you'd gone at night, streets are pretty much deserted, and it's a lot more dangerous at night. But during the middle of the day, there's so much stuff going on that, like, nobody's really going to try anything too overt. So you're able to move down the streets relatively unaccosted. You get a lot of stares because Naga are not native to Ravnica, so people are like, what the hell is that thing? But nobody really approaches you or bothers you. So yeah, you get to the pub, and is this a pub you've been to before, or are you going to a new pub today?
Let's go to a new pub.
Okay.
Just start this out fresh. So, it's all
So
new.
in the smelting quarter, a lot of the ale houses and whatnot are really small because most of them aren't open overnight because of everybody basically just stays indoors at that point. There's not a lot of money to be made. So they don't have these really big buildings that they have to pay high rent on or anything. They're usually fairly small, like one room, kind of seedy dive bar type places.
Okay.
So you walk into one. It's called the Turbine,
Okay.
and it's a lot of Is-It people hang out here.
Sounds like Is-It.
So
Turbine.
you walk in, and what do you do?
Just walk up to whatever is a bar in there. Like, I don't know how small it is or not.
It's pretty small. Like, you basically have one bar along this side and then another bar along the other wall. But there's just enough room that you can walk between the people sitting at the bars.
I'm just gonna walk straight in and order me a large pint of ale.
Okay. The bartender is a really scarred up goblin. He kind of looks up.
Hey, handsome, how about an ale?
He pulls down a pair of goggles, pulls the goggles off, wipes them, puts them back on. Yeah, sure. What the hell are you?
You know what? I was just thinking the same exact thing about you. What's going on here?
Oh, lab experiment.
Same.
Oh, wow. Transmogrification, huh? That sounds pretty rough.
Can you do?
Yeah, well, that's on the house. I'd love to hear about the experiment.
Thank you.
Pours the thing of ale, hands it to you, kind of leans against the bar, and he's short. He's shorter than the bar, so he's kind of leaning an elbow up on the bar and looking up at you.
Well, honestly, don't really remember much. I woke up, looking as handsome as ever, and
mental transmogrification too. That's interesting. That's a unique case.
yeah, so I'm drinking to remember.
I like that. That's clever. You know, I got some colleagues might be able to help you out with that, like reverse the transformation and stuff like that. Steep price, but you know.
I'll keep that in mind. I'm still testing out the new body.
I like it.
I want to keep
Experiment-minded man. I like that. Man, I apologize if that's. I have no idea.
Still up in the air.
Oh, all right, cool. Yeah, okay. That's fine. I'm good with that. So, what can I do you for?
Well, just anybody in here or ever come through? Maybe he's a planeswalker looking for a particular person.
Planeswalkers. Oh man, that's a loaded topic right there, buddy. You got a lot of people in my former circles that are, academically interested in planeswalkers.
What about practically interested?
They don't get the chance to study many of them. Dissection would be great, but you know how it is.
Yeah, I hear you.
Laws and whatnot. All your research has to follow ethical guidelines.
Yeah, that's city regulations for you.
Yeah, those Azorius bastards. Oh well.
So can you point me in any directions? Maybe I could,
My, recent experimental efforts may have made a few enemies, and maybe have killed a few people's kids, things like that. Successful experiment, though, surprisingly. Everybody thinks it's a failure, but no, I did exactly what I thought it was going to do.
Kill some kids.
Congrats.
Right there. It's like, yeah, cheers. But, some people are kind of unhappy with me, so, I work in a bar. But, let me see what I can do. I'll get back to you.
All right, sounds good.
Cool.
So I'm just going to kind of mosey off.
All right.
Pick up a table and just keep an ear open.
All right. What are you guys doing?
What sewer are you located in?
That sewer.
So actually, there are very extensive sewers underneath the city. So you've got the city level, you've got the undercity, and then you've got
Do I get told to go find stuff for people, or am I just like?
For the most part, Ludmilla basically, like while you were exploring the undercity and stuff like that, you kind of stumbled into this area where, like, there were a bunch of stone statues, and you're like, this is freaking weird, but they look, the the exquisite anguish on their faces, just like, oh my god. So you're writing poetry about him and stuff like that, and then you end up running into this Medusa, who, you know, I don't know how you would react to running into a Medusa in a dark underground crypt by yourself. How would your character handle that?
How would my character handle it? Whoa, man! No, that's too Spicoli. But I don't know. How would my character handle that? What do you want? Can't you see? I'm in pain right now. Okay.
So you try to lob the emo-ness at her to protect yourself. She kind of doesn't pay much attention to that. However, she clearly can sense something about you is different, and so she's not aggressive or hostile in any way. In fact, she's very kind of hospitable in a way. She's kind of cold and distant, but she talks with you at length and stuff like that, and you kind of end up telling her how you got here and what you're trying to do, and through that she's kind of like, okay, yeah, well, if you ever need anything, let me know for a price. So I might be able to help you out. So it's that kind of a relationship. But she doesn't usually send you on errands, although if you were looking for work, you might be able to go to her and say, hey, is there anything you need doing because I'm bored or I need money or whatever.
That's what I imagined I'd be doing.
Okay. So then you were, I
imagine just my day-to-day life is finding stuff and being like, hey, is this worth something? Or the reverse end of, she says, I want these things, go find them for me.
Right. Generally what she does actually is she has you deliver things.
Okay.
So like, because you're so new, she's already got agents that kind of go out and collect things for her.
Okay.
But a new face to deliver stuff is really valuable because like they wouldn't have clocked you as being involved in anything illegal. So she kind of, she kind of has you working, doing deliveries and whatnot. And yeah. I love making up D&D business names. A bakery, the Limp Biscuit, a smithy, the Forge is with you. Nice. Those are good names.
Those are good names.
Gosh, two Spicoli? That's awesome. I don't know what that means.
Oh, because my initial take was trying to be Spicoli. Have you seen Fast Times at Richmond High?
No.
Okay. There's a really famous scene about where this like stoner kid orders a pizza for himself and gets it delivered to class.
Okay.
And then the teacher is like, Spicoli, did you order this? Or how dare you interrupt our time together? Or something like that. And he's like, I forget. Oh man. He's just very, very like stoner-tastic. Like, if you're here and I'm here, isn't it our time?
Gotcha. Okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
Which then happens to be everybody's pizza too, right? Don't they all take it?
Exactly. He's like, oh, then if it's our time, then this is our pizza. And that's what the teacher does. And
gotcha.
Gives away his pizza. And he's like, oh man.
What a bummer, man.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Okay. So Stripe.
Stripe is not Spicoli, but my first take was too Spicoli.
I see. Okay. All right. Yeah, it takes a little time to kind of dial in exactly your character's like personality and such. So feel free to adjust as needed. But yeah, so underneath the city, you've got the city works. So there are sewers, there are pipe tunnels, usually like infrastructure stuff that the Izzet put into place to like pump different magical stuff back and forth between locations. Some of them are abandoned. You've got transit tunnels, kind of like an underground subway, and you've got crypts. And then underneath all that, you've got the actual Undercity where like the Golgari actual headquarters is. You haven't gone into the Undercity, you just gone into like the City Works area, and the crypt is where Ludmilla hangs out.
Alright.
So
I'll probably just run to Ludmilla, I guess, and be like, hey, you got any deliveries for me today? Something like that, or should I go the other direction and just already have something go deliver?
Your choice.
So let's go deliver something. Let's say I have
Cool.
a delivery for some Azorius dude.
Okay. Yeah. So
Need some documents or something. I don't know.
you basically ran into a guy that frequently acts as like a point of contact for you, and he hands you a small package wrapped in brown paper, little like twine bit of string tying it together. And he hands it to you, and he gives you a name. It says, "Can I see the map for the precinct 6?"
6. Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
Well, one of us will figure it out.
Thank you. So yeah, he.
Oh, is there a backside? There is indeed a backside.
Are we allowed to see the back of these?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think you're not allowed.
These are probably just printouts from the handbook, right?
Yep. But yeah, these are just supposed to be handouts for the players, so I don't think there's any plot
Alright.
stuff that you could find on there. Yeah, he says you need to deliver this to Graft, up in Wayport. So Wayport is like it's basically a hub of transit and shipping goods.
Mm-hmm.
So pretty busy area, especially during the day.
Okay.
So he handed that to you in the morning, and you are on your way to go do that.
Great. So I take my time.
Okay.
Doing that, I got the package, got it under my arm, just lazily walk around. Think I'm gonna catch a break at like a cafe.
Okay.
Order coffee and croissant kind of thing. Just
Write a little bit of poetry.
exactly.
Yeah. Okay. Works for me.
The local magic books.
Exactly. Yeah.
All right. So while you are getting a coffee, are you listening in for information? What are you doing?
Sounds like a good plan. Just chill out. People watch, eavesdrop as much as I can. Maybe find
Okay.
some more information to sell back the other direction.
No, okay, it's just going into the next one.
Give me a first D20 roll of the campaign, folks. Give me an investigation roll.
Okay. That the dot's at the bottom, right? Yeah. Yeah. Okay. How do I do that?
So find your investigation.
Oh,
There you go.
great.
Add that to
12.
12? Okay. You don't hear anything like really juicy. It's just kind of some general like discussions about like some gang activity that's been going on. Some goblin named Krenko.
Okay. Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah, there should be a section for you to like take
I'm sure there
notes
is.
and whatnot.
Krenko's a fun card.
Some goblin named Krenko kind of stepping up some of his gang activity and whatnot.
Okay.
And yeah, that's what you hear.
Cool. Do I have an idea where the Krenko gang is located?
Probably not, unless you've been specifically hanging out looking for like local criminals.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Just
Have you?
let's say no.
Okay.
I'm trying and keep my baby face.
All right. So then, yeah, you've maybe heard the name Krenko before, but you don't know much about him. This is kind of the first inclination you've got that he's like some kind of actual like important figure in the city.
Okay.
Otherwise, he's just been kind of like a name.
Gotcha. Cool.
BGM is good to have.
Background music.
Oh.
Oh, background music, yeah.
Yeah. So that's good.
Okay.
I guess I'll continue on my delivery.
Okay. So you have your coffee, tea. Well,
Yeah, coffee.
All right,
Black,
coffee.
like my soul.
you even order it that way. How do you like that coffee, sir? Black like my soul. Oh God, here's another one.
You just saunter off into the corner.
So yeah, you finish your drink. You still have your pastry in hand as you're walking down the street. and you eventually get to Wayport, and it's pretty busy. And you realize that other than being told it was an Azorius guy and given his name, you actually don't know anything about this dude.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Like, he didn't give you a description or anything, and this is relatively common where they're just like, go to this place, give this package to the person who approaches you, or whatever. And you kind of just have to trust that the first person to approach you is the right person. But yeah, so you have to find this graft person.
Find graft. Okay. In Wayport.
In Wayport, which is multi-leveled, lots of different little warehouses and businesses and stuff like that, and thoroughfares and people passing through and goods being transported both directions.
And you have no Google Map.
I have no Google
Yeah,
Map.
no Google Map. And even if you did, putting in find graft probably wouldn't work.
Huh. Okay. How do I find graft?
You could start just asking people, like throwing
Yeah.
the name out there.
Yeah. Just no. How do I?
It's up to you. You can
Yeah.
approach someone and role play through it, or you could roll the dice. How do you want to do it?
How do I want to do it? Who do I approach? I want to approach someone. It's just.
What kind of person are you looking for?
That's a good
Male,
question.
female, human, soldier, scholar, tradesman?
I don't have any idea about what's in the bag.
No, it's a wrapped parcel, so
Right. But small. And
Small, yeah.
Not leaking something.
as far as you know. Might be leaking something inside the box.
That's true.
There's always one solid way to check.
Shake it really hard.
Can I smell the box to try and find something distinct about it?
Sure, give me a perception roll.
All right.
And do you have advantage on perception for smells as a shifter? I forget.
All right. That's a good question. I don't think I wrote that down. Even if I did.
Let me take a quick look.
I don't.
If you do, or if you don't, I kind of feel like you should.
Wait. I have plus perception though, by default.
But I think you do have advantage.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's proficient in it.
So he's proficient. So you roll, you add your proficiency bonus and your wisdom
So
modifier.
you'd add
Okay.
this
Plus
and
that.
Yeah, it should actually just be that number next to the
Oh,
skill.
Okay. Go.
perfect.
Great. Well. Ha! I'm good at smelling this. I got 21.
Okay. So are you in Wayport when you do this?
Yeah.
Okay. So you kind of stop all of a sudden and you just go. And unfortunately, you've got like a pastry in one hand and you just had coffee, so it's kind of throwing you off a little bit. But you pick up the faint scent of saffron.
Saffron. Okay. My first instinct was, oh, I must have had saffron in my pastry. But then I'm gonna head towards like a shipping area, hoping that
Cashier says this got dark. How did it get dark exactly?
the head. I don't know. Man,
Maybe from the coffee. I don't know.
I'm a dark boy.
That's
Okay.
true. Yeah,
Just
Stripe is a very, very dark
Dark
through
and
and through.
Yeah.
So
All right, I'm gonna head to. You said there's like shipping.
Yep.
Or something. I'm gonna head over there, try and find some people offloading saffron, essentially, or some spices or
okay.
big.
Yeah, you
cargo
can
that
kind of
of
follow
stuff.
your nose and you find a wagon that is currently kind of being inspected by a couple of Boros soldiers. They're kind of picking through it, and they're small like well sealed
Mhm.
like small barrels and like really heavy glass jars and stuff like that are filled with different spices.
Cool. Yeah, so I guess I'm gonna approach the guards.
Okay.
And be like, hey guys.
The guards looks at you like kind of like mid inspection, looks up at you, goes, "Move along, citizen."
Fine, I didn't want to talk to you anyways. I will move along.
Okay.
And just
Be hurt and your social anxiety increases.
something like that. I was kind of like, just go down the line, try and find someone that might be offloading stuff.
Okay. Yeah. So the next wagon down, it doesn't look like they're offloading spices, but they are offloading like dried food goods, like flour and stuff like that. And there's a human guy standing there. Looks like he's keeping like an inventory or something like that. But they're kind of taking a break at the moment. The guys who are offloading, kind of like sitting on the edge of the wagon. The guy that like has not the clipboard, but like the tablet and everything is kind of like leaning back against the wall. They're kind of just chit-chatting.
I'm gonna go up to them and be like, "Oh, today's the worst, isn't it?"
They kind of look at you. They're like, "Yeah, it's busier than usual." Who are you?
You don't know me. I'm Stripe. Okay, kind of a big deal. And
Isn't that like the kind of name someone would give their pet?
be careful what you're saying there. Them's fighting words.
Oh, sorry, big man.
I am nobody's pet. Thank you very much.
Okay.
But you need to tell me. Where's Graft?
Are you trying to do like an intimidation, or are you trying to do a persuasion?
Let's go with intimidation.
All right, go for it. Roll it.
This is going.
Shouldn't he be like 5'3" in game? Very intimidating, tiny little emo kid. Puff up.
Exactly. Whoa.
No, I'm not intimidating this time around. Except I'm proficient in it, so... Proficiency adds what? How does that work?
Well, so it should just be the number next to the intimidation.
So
should
12
be plus 4.
is the total.
Okay. So what's your body language like? Are you actually like leaning in on him, or are you just like kind of standing there and giving him a glare? Like, what do you do?
I'm glaring at him.
Okay. So something about like
I'm pointing. Where's Graft?
when you make eye contact with him, something about like the lycanthrope side of your body, like your blood, like comes out in your eyes a little bit, and he kind of just is like, Graft. Yeah, Graft. 2 floors up. 2 floors up on the south side.
Great. Didn't have to make this difficult. Be nicer to people. The world's already painful enough.
You're an optigoth, an optimistic goth. He's like, yeah, sure, kid. Yeah, have a good day, or have a better day, I guess.
Flip him off as I walk away.
Stay classy, kid. Oh, okay, Casher was referencing the fact that the package didn't smell and it wasn't leaking. It sounds pretty morbid. What kind of package do you normally interact with?
It's just the Golgari. They collect dead bodies and recycle it all. So you know what? I just you gotta be careful. There's a lot of
Gotta be careful.
decomposing bodies. There's a reason why you need to wear hazmat suits while you're dealing with them.
Yep. You're pretty sure at one point you transported a pancreas. It wasn't wrapped very well, but you had a pancreas. So, but yeah. So with that information, you're able to find Graft.
Great.
You walk up. He looks at you, looks at the package, holds his hand out.
Give it to him.
He takes it and just turns away.
Great. Hope I didn't need to get paid.
The people that you're delivering to don't
sure.
usually pay you.
Yeah.
It's usually
Yeah, it's already been established. Or...
yeah.
Cool.
All right.
Yeah.
Fia, what are you doing?
What am I doing? We're all in the same precinct?
You can be in a different precinct if you want. So if you wanted to be visiting like Precinct 3 where the Selesnya hang out, you can be in Precinct 3.
Yeah.
So one of the things that the Guildmaster's Guide to Ravnica provided, it was like a supplemental thing you could buy, was maps, laminated full-color maps of the different precincts with a little precinct description on the back. So these are really handy player tools because I can just hand them to them. I don't have to read from the book or anything. So these are out of order now. I need to put them back in order because it's going to drive me crazy.
Okay, so we're just trying to get information on planeswalkers. I know Briarblade.
If that's what you want to be doing, you don't have to be doing that.
What's your character goal?
Sitting in a tree just talking to a bird. How do I get home?
Bird's like, well, I mean, really, the sky is our home, and so as long as we're in flight, we are at home.
I mean,
She's like, that's not helpful, bird.
She's like,
Every
yes,
river
and
is
you're a
not my
creature of
home."
the water. Maybe you should go back to the water.
I leave the bird. They were unhelpful.
if you want to go home, then you should be trying to find some planeswalker that can teach you to planeswalk.
Like,
Maybe.
would my contact give me like any tasks or anything?
Potentially. Of course, the more tasks you get from your contact, the more embroiled you become in their agenda. So, how how involved you want to be on that front is your choice.
I mean, this guy's already moving pancreases. Who knows?
I know, right? Like, he just jumped right into the illicit like body part trade. So.
Yeah, I think are there any like bars or cafes in like the Beast Haven, or is that just where they keep all the beasts?
So Beast Haven is pretty much where they have all the beasts and everything like that, but there are some like small establishments where they serve different food and whatnot, because there are a lot of people work there tending to the animals. So yeah, there are definitely bars and similar establishments there.
Yeah, so it's either, let's just go hang out there and try and see if anyone's talking about any planeswalkers, or if I can find someone who knows anything.
Okay.
Probably wandering around there.
All right, cool. Yeah. So you are at a bar in Precinct 3 then, in Beast Haven? Okay. The bars here are very, pretty bare bones. Like, the tables are very rough cut wood and stuff, like basically like planks of wood that have been, hammered together pretty, not amateurishly, but just without any eye for flair or anything like that. It's very practical, very functional. And you walk in, they have a few different kinds of wine and a couple different kinds of ale. They're not really interested in providing like the best quality and a high range of stuff. It's just like, this is what's affordable for the people that work here. Yeah. So
I'll probably just order the house cab. Per usual.
Alrighty. So he pours you... Cabernet is red, right?
Yeah.
Okay. He pours you a glass of red wine and puts it on the counter.
Yep. I thank him and
and it's this is actually a centaur that's working behind the bar. So the behind the bar space is huge.
Yeah, it was like, must be pretty cumbersome getting around a room. And I asked him, so sir, have you heard any talk of recent planeswalking activities, or have you heard of planeswalkers before? Fine creatures such as yourself.
Are you hitting on me, little lady? Because that's
weird.
No.
Okay,
all right, just making sure.
Yeah.
Get a lot of that. So, no, planeswalkers. I mean, there are a few open plains out past just the walls of District 10, but it's pretty cramped around here. I wouldn't know where, like maybe a meadow or two. Nothing I'd really call a plain.
All right.
Weird thing is, like, in some settings, like, you could be like, I'm a mage, look, I do some magic. And then it'd be like, I'm a planeswalker, I do some magic. And we're like, yeah, everyone does magic. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
You could just be from the who cares?
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah, I guess I finish my drink and leave the bar then.
Okay.
Because that wasn't helpful.
Not everybody knows what a planeswalker is.
Yep.
Some care more about different types of planes.
Exactly. He's a centaur. He dreams of running out on the open plains.
Yeah.
So.
Well, that kind of establishes what's going on over there. I guess I go talk to the Briar just to get more information about what's going on.
Okay. You, as you get... Can I see the Precinct 4 map? Or Precinct 3 map, please?
You got it.
Thank y'all. So as you get up to kind of the northern edge, like where the canopy is, like it kind of loops around behind everything that's going on here. So as you get up into that area, you start to see more Selesnya guild members that are like armed and armored. So they're not necessarily like tending to plants or beasts or whatever. Looks like they actually are patrolling or standing guard. They're still kind of like doing a little bit of trimming and stuff like that, but they're all carrying weapons. They've got some level of armor, and they start to kind of like as you get further north, they kind of start to eye you a little bit more as you come through.
I guess I'll walk up and talk to them.
Okay.
Like, hey, why so nervous, buddies?
Nervous and wary are different things.
What is there to be wary of?
The Gruul, the Simic, the Golgari, the Rakdos, the Boros.
Those are pretty awful people. 10 out of 10 would not associate with.
I wouldn't say that they're all awful, but there are some members of each of those groups that are more militant in mind.
Have you heard of any... Are there any attacks going on in the area? You guys seem really on guard today.
There are always incursions. Lately, there's been some concern that Simic infiltrators are coming in through the waterways, but whether or not that's true, it's hard to say.
All right. Can I ask them like stuff like if they've gotten any instructions from Briar Blade, or let them know I know the Briar? Or...
Sure, go for it. You can drop names.
Yeah. So I'm in, pretty good with Briar Blade. What have they been instructing you guys to do?
How do you know the Briar Blade?
How do you know?
That's a great question. I came to the city a couple months ago and just really hit it off. I don't know.
Show your ID card.
Huh?
Show them your ID card.
My ID card?
Yeah, the I know Briarblade ID card. Everyone has one of those.
I can show in my let's get to the top.
Multi-pass.
So one of the people there, it's an elven woman, kind of like looks a little closer. And says, "Wait a minute. I seem to recall her speaking something about
Merfolk?
an outsider from one of the other planes. A merfolk. Looks like you.
Mm-hmm.
What's your name?"
My name is Ulala.
Sounds similar enough to what the name she gave.
Mm-hmm.
So, what do you need?
I don't know what's going on. Sorry, I'm still really bad at talking in character.
That's okay. It takes time.
Yeah.
So.
What are your specific orders? Like, what are you preparing for?
My particular unit is currently in a holding pattern. We're not assigned to any particular task. So, we're simply tending the grounds here, keeping an eye on any hostile outsiders.
Okay, would these hostile outsiders possibly be planeswalkers?
I would hope not. They're the only planeswalkers that we're aware of are those that lead the guilds, and Jace himself, of course.
Mm-hmm.
But should one of them attack us, I think that they would require something more than just a few swords and bows.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, thank you for the information, and keep up the good work, you guys.
Thank you. She's not quite sure how to take that praise, but she goes back to what she's doing. So she goes back to what she's doing.
Mm-hmm. So much information.
All right, so you guys kind of spend your day off doing your various things. Mm-hmm. At the end of the day, do you guys go back to your little apartment?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. So when I say apartment, that's kind of doing it an injustice. It's really more of like a hovel that's on the 4th floor. Mm-hmm. It's pretty small, kind of cramped, but you guys are making it work. So
sorry, I'm old.
Sheds his skin, hangs it up to dry. So yeah, as you guys kind of come back together, who gets there first? Or do you all get there kind of at the same time? Like, have you coordinated to the point where you're like, around this time of night, we all get back and share information? Okay. So you guys meet up outside the building, you go in, and you walk up to the 4th floor, you take the stairs up, and your little apartment is like the first one on the floor, and you can see the doors open, like wide open.
Ready up.
There's there's candlelight flickering from inside.
Yeah, I'm pulling out a weapon.
Okay, yeah. Yep. Sounds good. Yeah, pull up.
Dude, we're on the 1st floor or 4th floor?
4th floor.
Yeah. Pull out a dagger.
I'm pulling out a trident because I just want to wield a trident whenever I can.
Tulala's like, a dagger, that's insufficient. You need 3 daggers on a pole.
For extra stabbing.
Look,
Exactly.
We're in an apartment. If you've seen Goblin Slayer, you can't pull out big weapons. You're just going to hit the wall.
But I want to.
I don't like that wall anyways.
Yeah.
A little bit of renovation,
You're in front of
redecorating.
Yeah, exactly. We need our apartment. Look at you. Our apartment's shitty enough. Do you want to ruin it by hitting the wall?
I live in a river. I don't know what this is.
It's a good point.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So who goes through the door first?
I'll go.
Okay.
So I'll dagger
Let's
out,
push you in.
do a little spit on the blade for the poison effect, and just kind of do my sneaky thing in, be really low.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
You kind of sneak through, and like you can see on the far side of the room, in one of the, you guys basically have this tiny table with 3 really crude chairs. One of those chairs has been pointed towards the door, and there's a man sitting in it, just kind of cross-legged. He's reading a book.
Do I recognize him?
Nope, never seen this guy before.
Can I get behind him without him seeing me?
No, he's literally facing the door.
Oh.
So like as you guys come through the door, he looks up.
Oh. Do any of us recognize him?
Nope.
Okay.
All right, so just posture up as much as I can, being a snake,
Okay.
and just ask him, "Who are you? Why are you in my apartment?"
So it's a half-elven man, and he's like, whoa. No need for aggressiveness. No need for any of that.
No need for B&E. Explain yourself.
You could just wait it out in front of the door, like a normal elf thing.
I could have, but it was more comfortable to sit in here. You've been gone all day.
Some of us have jobs.
As do I. My name is
Louder.
Trillan.
What is it?
Trillan.
Trillan?
Trillan. My name is Trillan.
Who chills like a villain. Yeah, I got you.
They said you were a poet, but they did not tell me the depths of your skill.
You should have known it.
I suppose so. I'm here to extend an invitation on behalf of my employer.
Who is?
If you agree, then you will meet them. I realize this is all very
About this.
mysterious and whatnot, but sadly this is the way we operate.
Can we get a sense from looking at him what guild he's associated with?
He is wearing just regular, like, kind of brown, like, wool pants, a green shirt. It doesn't look like... He's not wearing any insignia or anything like that. He's just wearing kind of standard clothes.
Are you part of the 10th Guild? The Demir are the 10th Guild, but they don't
Right.
exist.
Right.
Yeah.
He kind of...
Okay,
I'm sorry.
I couldn't tell why you were looking at
No,
me
it's
like
in
that.
character.
Sorry.
He's like, I'm sorry?
Nothing? Don't worry about it. I didn't say anything.
I'm not with any of the guilds.
How many of them are inviting us?
In this particular instance, just one. He is not wearing any weapons.
Okay, I'll go ahead and put my dagger away. Okay. Stop posturing.
Says, again, I apologize for the clandestine nature. I tried to be as open and apparent in introducing myself as I possibly could, given the parameters of my work.
Alright, so what's the nature of this invitation?
Simply a meeting to discuss potential mutual interests or mutual benefit.
Okay. We're meeting in a public place?
You can, if you prefer.
That sounds reasonable.
This music is...
I mean, that's
Intense
how,
for the
Yeah, a
that's
little
how
bit-
online dating works, for sure.
What will you
I
be
didn't
wearing
really-
so I know it's you?
Exactly. Cashier says three daggers on a pole. You can never have too many daggers. It's true. If someone's worth stabbing once, they're worth stabbing 3 times.
It's more than double tap.
No half measures.
Exactly. Trillan says, I understand it's suspicious. I show up here, you've never seen me before, out of the blue, I'm in your home. Again, it's not the way I prefer to operate, but sometimes you have to follow orders.
Alright.
I assure you no harm will come to you if you say no to the meeting. No harm will come to you if you go to the meeting and choose not to cooperate with my employer.
Alright, when is this supposed to happen? Is it up to us?
At your leisure.
Okay, well, you didn't have any trouble getting in here today. Come back tomorrow. We'll let you know.
Fair enough. Shall I let myself in next time? Or should I meet you at a certain time?
Yeah, I mean, make yourself at home. You already have.
Oh, thank you very much. I appreciate your hospitality. As you kind of look around, you notice he's kind of tidied the place up a little.
Nice.
So
That was weird.
he'll until we meet tomorrow, and he walks out.
Catch his name?
Trillion.
Oh, yeah, right. Sorry,
Yep.
Sorry. Yes, you're right.
I already read it.
I wrote it down and everything. For some reason, I was thinking the employer. I just like the name.
What do you guys think about that? Like, I don't know. He sounded kind of militant. He said he was taking orders. Wasn't wearing any weapons, so he's clearly not scared of us. So I don't know.
I mean, if we go to a meeting in a public place, how much harm can come to us?
Well, I mean, here on Ravnica.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, he's trying to be secretive, or else he could have just been waiting outside or
Sure.
intercepted us anywhere else.
Yeah, so he didn't want to be seen waiting for us. He just...
So they probably wouldn't make a lot of noise in a public place.
Someone go and give me an insight roll.
I don't know who's highest.
Ideally, someone who is trained in this. Sofia, I think you
yeah,
have the
plus
best
5.
insight.
Yeah, look at you go. Oh, yeah, because you're the diplomat.
Oh, God. All right, so 15.
15. You guys are talking, and after a second, kind of tweaks that, like, it's after nighttime at this point, and he basically just totally casually walked out of the building onto the street with no weapons, without seemingly a care in the world.
Yeah, he's definitely not scared of anything.
Yeah.
So,
I mean,
And he's being paid by somebody. So, right, so someone is probably scarier than him is making something happen.
yeah,
Or,
that's a safe assumption. We might as well take the meeting.
Yeah.
See what happens.
sounds like a good, well, sounds like a profitable idea at least.
Yeah.
Because my plan of talking birds is not working at all.
So actually, I went to a pub and met an interesting goblin that does some experiments.
Oh, yeah?
And I might have an angle to manipulate him with my Boros contact
Oh, cool.
to maybe get some more information. So I'm not sure yet. I have to work that a little bit more, but we'll see what happens with that. So
Butter him up some more.
yeah.
Sounds good. Boros, Boros friends probably know about this, but I heard that on the streets today, people are worried about some guy named Kranko. You know anything about that?
I didn't hear anything, but I can ask.
All right.
My contact is, well, I'm going to assume you told me Kranko was a goblin. My contact was a goblin, so maybe he'd have some information. So,
also, someone in the Boros Legion might know something about Kranko, based on the fact that he's, like, a somewhat well-known gang member.
yeah,
So,
I'm sure they would too.
Yeah.
all right. So, do you guys want to do anything particular the next day, or are you just gonna prep for the meeting?
Sharpen our daggers?
Did you tell him what time to come back?
No.
Let's say we did.
All right, we'll retcon that. What time did you tell him to come back?
Morning, mid-morning?
Yeah.
Okay. Sure.
Just jump into it, yeah.
Okay. Doesn't give you much time to really go out and do much else. So, do you just kind of hang out, waiting for him to show up?
I'm good with that.
Yeah, that sounds good to me.
Playing cards, making tea,
Okay.
Yeah.
just having a wholesome family time.
Yay! Playing Uno.
Writing poetry.
I swear to God, if you skip me again.
Draw four, draw this. All right, so yeah, there's a knock at the door.
Open it
Answer the
up.
door? Yeah.
He's standing there. This time he's wearing a blue shirt, black pants. Kind of leans against the threshold of the doorway and says, "So, shall we?"
Go.
Yep.
Sure.
All right.
I thought we were just telling you whether or not we wanted to take the meeting. Is there already one planned for us?
Would you like to come with me or not?
Just wanna be certain. It's a bit presumptuous of you.
Just a technical question. Do either of you have sense motive or anything like that? Is that a
The
fifth edition
insight.
thing?
Insight is
Okay,
the skill.
all right,
So,
all
and
right.
that's Sophia's bag. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
So yeah,
All right.
he's like, excellent. And he kind of turns on his heel and kind of just walks off like he's very kind of pleased with the outcome. So he walks down the stairs, leads you outside, and he actually takes you to the transit tunnels, and you guys end up in Precinct 2. So Precinct 2 is a fairly nice area. Small houses, modest apartments, and commercial shops are sprinkled throughout Precinct 2, a place that law enforcement officers, lawyers, retired soldiers, and well-off working families call home. Corner shops cater to every needs, and many establishments are run by ex-soldiers. Streets are kept tidy, and buildings are maintained to be serviceable. Under the precinct's urbane veneer, tensions simmer between law officers and the opportunistic crime families who call this precinct home. The folk who live in this precinct believe in performing civic duties, conforming to your role, and maintaining strong friendships and family ties. Good neighbors show respect to one another and enjoy competing among themselves to achieve greater successes. So he takes you to one of the little corner kind of cafe, bakery things. It's a very nice little establishment, and they've got some outdoor seating. They've got some indoor seating. He walks in. He walks past everything. One of the ladies kind of working the front looks up, gives him a little wave. He nods, and he leads you into a back room.
Okay.
All right. Back room.
Yeah.
So, basically, it's a door set into the back wall. He opens it, gestures you through.
All right.
Yeah.
I do kind of want to be ready for anything, but
Yeah.
I don't know if I want to be like weaponed up or whatever.
Perception.
Go for it.
Yeah. Just want. Mostly, I want to try and tell if there's plants up there. Are the patrons there extra attentive to us being in the room?
Oh, gotcha. Go ahead.
Yeah. So that's pretty good. That's a 20.
20?
Yeah. Not natural. It's 18 plus.
Your perception is +3, right?
Oh, you're right. I looked at the wrong thing that started with a P. You're correct.
Okay, perfect. So 21. I mean, you
Probably
guys
not.
kind of stand out, especially that guy.
fair.
So you definitely get some people kind of like perking up,
Pull the
and
hoodie over.
but it doesn't look like anybody is like kind of like watching you like over their newspaper or anything sinister like that. Just people kind of just paying general attention to some
Snake
new
lady.
faces,
Yeah, snake
that
people.
are walking through the building.
Okay.
But otherwise, no.
Cool. All right.
I'll go in the
Take a
room. I'm
seat.
feeling
Yeah.
Okay.
cool vibes.
You step in, and it's actually a surprisingly large room, bigger than you would have expected, actually. And at the far end, there is a loxodon sitting at the head of the table, wearing kind of white and gold garments.
Cool.
I feel like I'm gonna get stepped on.
And as you come in, the loxodon rises from her chair, and she says, "Greetings. Please have a seat."
Thank
Yep,
you.
and I'll sit down.
Yeah.
She
Thank
waits
you.
waits for you to sit, and then she takes her seat. And Trillin closes the door behind you guys, but he does not enter the room.
Okay.
Great.
She says, "My name is Liuda. It is a pleasure to meet all of you."
Pleasure to meet you too. I guess. Yeah, I guess.
You
Spike, not Spike. Stripe. And
Who's that?
And Ulala.
Yeah, Ulala.
Yes, I'm familiar with all three of you. You have been calling a fair amount of attention to yourselves in the last month or so.
you've been reading my poetry.
I've heard some of it, yes.
Glad. Well, always happy to make another patron.
Indeed. Do you have performance?
Yes, I do.
Go and give me a roll, just to see like generally how good your poetry tends to be.
I'm really excited I didn't roll a 2.
15.
15? Okay. So yeah, actually your poetry tends to be pretty good. I don't know if you're like getting them mass printed and like handed out, or if you're just like reading them at like.
It's really indie, right? Just,
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So you basically go to clubs and you read it like, and people.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Beatniks. All right. So yeah,
We're so
Casher
yeah.
Casher just said beatniks at the same time I did. So yeah. And Leota says, "Thank you very much for agreeing to meet with me. I was uncertain if you would take the invitation."
Why be so secretive and sneaky about it?
Well, the nature of my work is clandestine.
And what is your work?
First, let me ask you, if I may, whether you have any particular allegiances to any particular organizations here in Ravnica. I know that you're all from outside of our fair world, but...
We know a little bit of everybody from. Wait, a little bit of. I don't know what I'm trying to say here. I'm completely messing this up. We have some contacts, but we don't owe any allegiances to anybody but each other.
It's fair.
Yep.
I mostly just try to follow the money. Use my skills the best I can.
Good. I'm the same. There are a great many organizations, the guilds, some businesses, some unaffiliated groups that vie for power. They seek to profit or expand their own interests at the expense of Ravnica as a whole. And that is counter to my inclinations. Ravnica is one great community, and if any one group were to gain power, that community would fall apart. So, I and a few other enterprising individuals have taken efforts to curb the achievements of the guilds.
And how do we tie into this curbing?
Well, we are hoping that you might serve as new recruits for our cause. Being as you have fairly unique powers and abilities. Planeswalkers are not common, after all. We were hoping that you might be able to help us in our efforts. Please understand, we have no interest in destroying any of the guilds. They all serve their purpose. We simply seek to keep them in balance with each other. The Guild Pact is no longer... The Guild Pact is no longer a significant influence over the guilds. Ever since Jace, if you know him, ever since a Planeswalker took the role, it seems that the guilds are left unchecked more often than not.
Alright.
So it's your business to keep the guilds in check and in balance?
It is our self-imposed duty, yes. Again, if any one guild were to gain too much power and take control, they would likely destroy at least one or two of the other guilds. And that would leave certain aspects of Ravnican society untended.
This sounds pretty dangerous. What's in it for us?
Well, that is a fair assessment. It will be dangerous. Many of the guilds are more willing to kill any who oppose them than make any sort of reasonable arrangements. But we can offer you payment in the form of gold. We can offer you information about your unique condition. So we can offer you equipment, potentially.
Those all sound great.
Yeah.
If you seek influence with any of the guilds, we can potentially arrange that.
So are we working for you or working with you?
You're working with me.
Okay.
The fact of the matter is the Acromis are a loose-knit organization. We do not seek to control anyone or anything. We simply seek balance within the community of Ravnica.
And how how open are you guys to refusal? I'm not saying we don't want to work with you, but there are certain things we might not want to get our hands involved in.
It would depend on your level of discretion. Should you decline to work with us and go your own way, we would have no ill will. Were you to start spreading information about us, that may change. But if you were to agree to work with us and simply turn down specific tasks, that would not be objectionable. Your own morals, your own values must guide your actions. You must be able to sleep with yourself at the end of the night.
Sounds fair.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm interested.
I'm very interested.
Just know that by doing this, if you are found out, you may be burning bridges with the guilds.
Or we could just make sure we don't burn any bridges by what we agree to.
True. That is a good point. But I'm very glad to hear that you're interested. If you are so inclined, we have a task for you.
I imagine this is why you saw us out for this task.
It is. This is something... Having unaffiliated individuals involved in this, especially new faces, is the safest option for us. There is... There is a spy operating amongst the guilds. We don't know the intent of this spy or the spy's identity or affiliations. We know very little about them.
Mm-hmm.
But this person is... This person knows a great deal of information about certain members of the guilds. Rumor has it that this person has a small gang that they are organizing, a band of blackmailers, thugs, things of that nature, using that to gather information and blackmailing members of the guilds. To what end, we do not know. We believe this same person is stealing guild keys and using them to gain access to facilities that the guilds usually keep very secure. And that is where they are approaching these guild members. It's a matter of some consternation for some of the guilds. We would like you to find out who this person is and bring us their identity, or, if you can convince them, bring them to us.
Okay. Are they seemingly targeting specific guilds, or...
We've heard rumors that this individual and this individual's associates may be or operating with each of the guilds, but again,
okay.
It's hard to say if they're all connected.
Mm.
So is there a chance that this spy is also a part of Acronis?
No, we don't operate with that level of deniability. I'm familiar with all the operations that the organization has underway.
How familiar are you with guilds? Is it possible to get a guild key? Because
only high-ranking members are able to bestow guild keys, and usually upon guild members who have shown some sort of particular skill or adroitness in their given tasks. It is not something you can simply purchase, even on the black market.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Which is why we believe that this spymaster may have a ring of individuals, plants within the different guilds.
Okay.
Now, we have minimal information to go on, but we do have 3 names that you might look into. The first is Milosh. Milosh is a centaur of the Selesnya. We believe he is being blackmailed. Some of our eavesdroppers have heard information about this. The next is Otravak, a member of the Azorius Senate. He is of Adalkin. And the last is Lizaxa, a goblin. She's in league with the Izzet.
What was the name of the last one?
Lizaxa. Lyzaxa. These 3 are the ones we have most recently heard rumors about, again, through our informants. They may not be associated. Please keep that in mind. The guilds engage in blackmailing members of other guilds all the time, but they're worth at least speaking to, I believe.
All right, we'll look into it. How are we supposed to get in contact with you? Is Mr. Clean just going to show up at our apartment every once in a while, or?
No, Trillin has other duties he must attend to. Should you need to get a hold of us, simply come to this bakery and order a dozen bear claws to be picked up the next day, and we will meet you here.
Sounds good.
Great. Does it only take 24 hours to get a dozen bear claws?
No, it's just for this particular purpose.
Okay.
Usually the order has to be placed a few weeks in advance.
Oh, we get special treatment. Do we
I
get
own-
a dozen bear claws?
Yes, you get to keep the bear claws.
I'm
But I
sorry,
only-
he just really likes his pastries.
Yes, I can
These
tell.
are important details we need to.
The bear claws here are exquisite. So,
Okay.
but should you need anything, please do not hesitate to ask.
Can I get a dozen bear claws?
Come back tomorrow. They'll be ready for you under your name.
Awesome. Life looking a little better today.
Are there any planeswalkers in Acromas?
She leans back and just smiles.
So
3.
here's what I would like to request. I would like to actually talk to any of them that are in here. This is it's a planeswalker thing. We just need to figure out some stuff.
I understand. I will see what I can arrange.
Sounds good.
As I mentioned, individuals of your nature tend not to stay on Ravnica for long. They have other things pulling them away.
Understandable. All right. We will get a hold of you when we have something.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you. Bye.
Bye.
All right. So as you get up, the door opens from the other side, and Trillin kind of gives you a bow, and gestures out of the room.
Nice.
So, where are you guys going to go? Anywhere in particular?
Let's just get away from here for right now, and
Mhm.
I just kind of want to pay attention to see if it's
Anyone's-
obvious that we're being launched or anything like that. Do you want to
All
roll
right.
perception? Or
Yeah,
something?
perception.
So 10. I don't have any proficiency in perception.
As far as you can tell, nobody's like taking a particular interest in you. Liuda actually, she exits pretty much right after you.
Okay.
So,
Do we want to follow her?
I don't think so. I think we should trust her right now. There's no reason not to. I don't completely trust her 1%, but there's no reason.
Trillin's
not
kind of
trust-
standing over your shoulder with his arms crossed and goes, she's a trustworthy person.
Oh, I agree.
Is he escorting us out, or
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Let's just keep going wherever he's taking us then.
Oh, he's just following you guys at this point.
Oh, so he's just a part of the party now.
Maybe.
Okay.
He's just following along.
Okay. Well, we got 3 contacts,
Mm-hmm.
and it's pretty set up for us to each have one of these contacts.
Yeah. I'm
So-
gonna go find another centaur to flirt with in Selesnya.
And you should go find what was the
Vodalkin? Ultra Vodalkin.
okay.
Otravok, yeah. Trillin kind of leans in and says, did you want your payment or not?
Yeah, I assumed that's why you were here.
Well,
Oh, we get paid before we're done?
your time is valuable, is it not?
That's true. But we haven't. Okay. It's not
So-
a half now, half later thing?
He basically reaches into
We can never.
he slides his hand along his pant leg, and all of a sudden a pocket kind of appears, and he pulls out 3 bags of coins and tosses one to each of you.
Great.
And there's 100 gold in each.
Okay.
Awesome.
That's,
Thank you.
yeah.
He goes, well, consider it a down payment, if nothing else.
This is better than poetry readings.
You just haven't been to the right venues yet. We'll see if we can get you an invitation.
Oh, yeah?
The signpost to become the best poet in Ravnica.
Take that, Mom and Dad.
You said my poetry would never get amount to anything.
That's actually...
I love the idea of you obtaining a reputation as this really renowned poet in the city of Ravnica.
It's my own... Yep.
So yeah, he says, if you won't be needing anything else,
I think we're good for now. Thank you, sir.
I will see you in the morning.
All right.
We're gonna meet you every morning
You're coming back to...
for the bear claws.
Yes.
Okay.
See you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.
He kind of gives you a little like mock salute and turns and saunters off into the crowd.
I'm so excited for these bear claws, guys. You have no idea.
I got an idea how excited you are. What time of day is it?
So you guys left mid-morning. It's probably early afternoon at this point because the travel time to get to Precinct 2 and everything like that.
So we probably should just head straight back home, or else it's gonna get dark.
No, I think we got
Okay.
a little bit of time.
You got a little time?
We got some money now too. We should probably look into possibly getting some better equipment, or maybe buying some information from somebody. I don't know if.
Well, I might be able to get some information.
All right. Should we separate then and go our own ways, or should we all go together, or how do you guys want to do it? I'm open either way, however you want to do it.
Well,
I mean, it's sneakier if we separate, but I don't know if that's the best.
It does make more sense.
Party. Split the party.
It does make more sense because contacts or whatever, but it is definitely safer to stay together.
yeah. So, of the three guys, I mean, we could just go. Do we want to try and talk to one of these people right now, or work that way, or
Personally, I'm gonna go hit up a shop first.
yeah?
Because
I mean, Precinct 2 is a good place to do it. There are shops all over the place. Did I give you the precinct? No. Yeah, any sort of merchandise can be acquired from some shop in Precinct 2. Former soldiers and ex-adventurers run many of the businesses here, and weapons and armor are commonly available in Griffin Heights. Griffin Heights is one of the... It's this neighborhood here on Precinct 2. I'll give you the map here in a second.
Okay.
Yeah, that's my first priority.
Yeah.
Because if we do get into a fight, I don't want to have a 13 armor class.
Okay.
Now, something that I will say is that you are currently only proficient in light armor.
Right.
And I think you have studded leather already. That's actually that is the heaviest light armor that you can wear.
I can get spiked leather armor and help with that constrictability a little.
Oh, that would be...
Fucking
You would have
hell.
to be at least medium armor, and it would probably have to be... Well, no, you might be able to get some spiked studded leather.
You just
Spiked
got a little
leather
cooler
instead
there,
of
bro.
studded leather. Yeah, sure, you can go pop into a shop and see what they can do.
All right, maybe I don't want to spend money on that then right away.
That's a custom job. That'll cost a bit.
Yeah.
I mean, any armor for you is a custom job.
That's true. That's true.
What? It's just a tube that you just put it on.
I don't think it quite works like that, but maybe.
Studded leather
Need a
tube top.
really large armored sock.
Yeah, exactly.
Suspenders to go over your little flaring bits.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, but there are alchemical items you can go and buy. Oh, you all have 2 healing potions, by the way, because I realized you didn't have any healing in the party. So I gave you each 2 of those potions. Yeah.
Cool. I don't even know what I want. Never been asked to buy something in D&D.
You don't have to buy anything. You can choose to go look for information or go talk to these people or...
Yeah. Never had that option.
Yeah, okay, instead of buying anything, then do we want to split up or do we want to go together?
I think probably go together. If we're worried about us being overpowered, then at least we'll have a better chance. We can have she can flirt and we could just watch the door for her, or
All right.
Yeah.
we can work together on this part. Probably. We don't all have to be in the same room though.
True. Where are you guys going to go first?
No, we know the most about the goblins kind of already between Cranko and what you learned yesterday. Or you actually know a goblin guy, right?
I do know a goblin guy. We could play that angle up, but I would like to... So basically my plan with this guy is... So I have contact with Boros. Boros and goblins in this particular area clash a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So the plan is to kind of... This guy sounds like he's not a kosher person. He's talking about some experiments. Possibly some kids died. Not too happy about that. But was kind of hoping to kind of get into his inner circle a little bit, and then possibly use my contact to kind of like butter up my contact with catching some goblins doing some illegal stuff.
Gotcha.
So I don't know how far I want to go into information gathering with that guy in particular.
So we just, FYI, we just passed the hour and a half mark on the stream. Do you want to take a little break? Come back to it, or do you want to keep going?
I could use a break.
Yeah? All right, folks, we're going to go on a quick break. We're going to come back, and we are going to get going again in about 5 minutes. So we're going to mute the mic. We're going to put up the splash page. And, yeah, feel free to post questions or anything you've got in the comments in the meantime, and we will get back to them when we return. Thanks. Wait, no. Come here.
Change the scene. Oh.
There we go. And then we're going to mute this. And we are back. Always nice to get a bit of a break, but now we are back at it and ready to roll.
Mm-hmm.
Literally, in the case of dice. So, where are you guys going? What are you doing? Who are you talking to?
I'm gonna figure out the goblin lady first.
I think he's got the long con for the goblin lady.
Mm-hmm.
We want to go talk to some centaurs?
Yeah. I already made one feel uncomfortable. Let's go make all of them feel uncomfortable.
I guess, like, I think I need to talk to an adult. All right, so you're going to go talk to the centaur.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mylosh.
Yep.
All right, so you guys were told that he was in Selesnya.
Mm-hmm.
So you guys are going to have to figure out where to go from there, where to find him.
So he's actually in the guild.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
Just something to say. I'm not sure who it was, but we hit 40 followers.
Hey.
Thank you for following.
Thank you.
We appreciate that.
Yay.
Yay.
You're number 40.
Yeah, you're number 40.
Number one in our hearts.
Yeah, exactly. All right. So, sorry. I saw that and it totally overrode everything else that was happening. What's going on? What are you doing?
I'm trying to find Selesnya, so
Yeah.
I should be knowing where
Yeah,
I'm
we're
going.
going to count on our resident pseudo-Selesnya expert. Or,
Okay.
do you want me to
Wait,
add
this
you
is
anything?
wait, this is the current day? Oh.
This was the, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah,
precinct
Precinct 3.
Oh, I wonder if our friends at Achroma have like dossiers on these people or some a little bit more. Probably not. They probably already told us everything, but can always ask if there's some files that they can hand us.
You can just call after Trillin real quick and be like, oh, wait, hang on a second.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's just
All right.
let's just check just to be safe.
Kind of like mid-stride, he kind of like pivots on one foot in one smooth motion, turns around, and he's like, and he walks back over to you. Like, yes.
So we have information that we got from, is it Luda?
Liuda.
Mm-hmm. Is there any more information about these three individuals? Do you guys have any kind of like dossier, files? Kind of want to point us in a direction.
Like, what do they do for work, or
Yeah. Where are they most commonly?
Who do you want the information on first?
we're gonna
On
Mylosh.
Mylosh? Mylosh is, he's a very principled individual.
Okay.
So, I imagine he'll probably be the one most forthcoming with information, but so far he hasn't really given out any details of what's going on with him to his guildmates, which is why we don't know for sure that he's being blackmailed by this little syndicate that we're trying to identify. But, if you wanted to find him, you would want to go to... go to the Canopy area of Precinct 3. I believe he reports to a dryad by the name of the Briarblade.
I know that guy.
It's weird. It's like they picked us for some reason.
Yeah.
So, that's the best we can give you.
Awesome. Well,
We collected some initial information, but we haven't approached the individual yet because we didn't want to scare him off.
mm-hmm. Cool.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome. As you need information about the others, simply let us know. Best not to disseminate too much information should you fall into the wrong hands, let's say.
Sounds good.
All right.
Alright.
Do you need anything else?
We'll just Bear claws?
Patience, young strife, patience. All good pastries come to those who wait.
Yeah. I'll rise to the occasion.
Bear claws are the yeast of your problems right now.
Here we go. The pun war has begun.
So,
let's head to Canopy 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
okay.
How do you think they're going to feel about Snake Guy and God Kid rolling up with you?
I mean, they're probably not going to be happy about it.
Don't they love all animals?
I mean, would they be concerned because they're with me and
I don't know.
Yeah, kind of.
It's not like you're part of the Briarblade's inner circle. She's kind of just dropped your name and been like, hey, if this person comes around, don't kill her immediately.
That's why I'm kind of wondering if, like, I do want to stay together as a group, but I kind of think for this particular thing, it might be better if we go individually.
Yeah, if I go separate.
Yeah.
Split the party. Split the party.
It's never good when the DM's excited about a decision you're contemplating. But I do think that's probably best. I think you could probably get more
information. It just looks suspicious if I roll up with a giant snake and a emo goth kid.
Plus, if we start firing off a bunch of questions, they're just going to be like, nope, I don't want to talk to you. Yeah.
All right.
So I think maybe we should do that. Let's probably separate.
Split the party.
Okay.
All right.
So you're going to go see Mylosh. What about the other two? Are you sticking together, or are you going to split off completely separately?
We should probably separate completely, I think, and just for this particular thing. I hate doing it, but
I try to make it as difficult for me as the dungeon master as possible.
Yeah, of course. You have no incentive to keep us together. Okay.
Just switch back and forth between NPCs, rapid fire, come up with different voices, all kinds of stuff. So
I believe in you.
You're prepped, right? We got this.
Oh yeah, totally.
Yeah.
By the way, for those of you who are watching, and for you, I'm not necessarily the best at the voices. I try to do voices because I think it makes each NPC stand out more. But for throwaway people, you might just get the Ben voice. Just FYI.
That's fine.
So, it's a trap. Yeah. Is it a trap for me though, or is it a trap for them? It's hard to say.
I feel like the real voice. So you remember? I don't know what the animation technique's called, but like in old Scooby-Doo, you can tell when they're going to interact with something because it's a brighter color.
Yes.
Clearly, if you start using a voice, this person's important.
Except I'm wise to that trick, so every once in a while I will give a voice to a random NPC.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, keep it in the back of our minds.
All right. So while you guys kind of figure out where you're going.
Okay.
Sounds good.
I'm heading back to the canopy.
Okay. So you're in precinct 2. You're going to precinct 3. It doesn't take a ton of time, but it does take like an hour and a half-ish to get to the canopy. Using like the tunnel, like the transit tunnels and stuff like that. So it's kind of late afternoon by the time you get there. Okay. So by the time you get back home, it's going to be late, unless you find a place to crash here overnight.
Is there a local river I can just jump into?
Yeah, there are waterways.
There could be simic shark crabs in it.
Yeah, what's the worst that can happen? You can talk to animals.
Exactly. No.
It's a shark, octopus, alligator, or something like that. Or shark to crab. Yeah.
Shark to crab is the card.
Yeah. Shark, octopus, crab.
Oh, there's hydroid crisis, the jellyfish octopus.
Yep.
Interesting.
Yeah, go take a dip. Why not?
Yeah.
No. So you arrive at the canopy, and what are you gonna do?
Are there any guards still on duty?
So yeah, as it's getting later in the day, people are kind of starting to wrap up their day-to-day jobs. They're starting to head home or go to the tavern, but there are still guards on duty, especially here. Like as you get into the canopy and further in, there are.
Are the ones that I already spoke to there that are? They probably even changed out by now.
Okay, yeah. You actually see the elven lady that you talked to previously, yesterday. She kind of like perks up a little bit when she sees you. Says something to the guard to her right, and she walks over. And she's got a spear in one hand. Like she's actually more heavily armored now, and she's got a spear. She's got like a small buckler shield, like kind of over her shoulder. And she walks up and says, "Welcome back."
Hi, keeping up the good work. I see. You seem to be more armored than usual.
We're ever vigilant.
All right. I'm actually looking for someone.
Vigilance, a mechanic in magic, means they don't tap to attack. Sorry.
See, we know things.
Yes, exactly. Who are you looking for?
I'm looking for Mylosh. Have you seen him about?
Yes. Why are you looking for Mylosh, though?
I just really like harassing centaurs.
Your personal life is your own choice.
No judgments.
I can point you in the right direction, provided that you are not harassing him. Not truly harassing him.
Oh no, just
Have you seen him?
Have you seen him? I mean,
Very well. I will warn you, he's been different lately.
different how so?
He's been less open, more guarded. Mylash has always been a very gregarious individual. Quick to make friends, eager to make friends. And lately he's been less outgoing.
Well, that's unfortunate. Maybe I can open him up once again.
With luck, I suppose. Just handle him with care, is all I would ask.
Will do. Thank you for the information.
Mm-hmm. She kind of points you in a direction. She's like, follow the pathway here. When you get to the end, there'll be a row of cottages. He's in the last cottage.
All right,
The one that looks more like a barn than a cottage.
Okay, I make my way over there. Are there any, like, cafes on the way? I can buy him bear claw?
No, it seems like it's mostly a residential area, and all the cottages, like, kind of along this one pathway, it looks like they're kind of just nice little forest cottages, but you look closer and you actually realize that all the fences, actually, they're kind of like that, they're rows of those 3 poles that are, like, leaned up against each other, and they're sharpened.
Okay.
And then there are, like, there's bushes kind of grown among them, so that they kind of blend in to the row of bushes and everything like that. So it's kind of a natural barrier with legitimate fortifications inside them, so that if an attack were to happen, they could theoretically defend these little areas. So
Okay.
it's not just a quaint little forest cottage. So
All right, Can I use insight or perception to see if there's anything weird going on with his little cottage or
Sure.
his walk up?
Do perception first.
Okay. 17. I don't think I have any. Yeah, just 17.
17. That's
Yeah.
pretty good. No, you've got a +3 perception.
Okay, so yeah, 20.
20. Nice. So, yeah, as you're walking up, you notice that there is a... So you notice that there is actually... So first off, there are blackened curtains on all the windows. And above the doorway, there are little, like, kind of charcoal, like, marks. Almost look like humanoid figures that have been drawn above the doorway. And there's 7 of them.
Okay. Would I know what those are, or?
Give me a religion check.
I never roll this well. Yeah, so religion. Do I have anything in there?
So it looks like you're...
Yeah, so 19.
It looks like you're proficient in religion, so that should also add your I apologize, the
Okay.
numbers aren't in there. I think something's going on with when I print these things, because I could swear I put the numbers in, but looking at them now, it's missing them. Same for yours. I don't know what happened there.
But I mean, the proficiency's marked, so...
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so that's +3, so 21. It looks like it might be some kind of like a grieving or mourning thing. It's not necessarily specific to a particular belief structure, but kind of making a few leaps of logic. That's probably what it is.
Okay, so he's grieving, I guess.
Okay.
All right, so I guess I make my way to the door and give a friendly and light knock.
Okay. So unlike the other cottages, which are kind of built like just at ground level with whatever foundation they've got, this one actually is kind of recessed into the ground just a little bit, and it kind of looks like the door is really big because he's a centaur, of course. So the door is really big, and it looks like it kind of leads like down just a little bit into sort of a recessed, not quite cellar space type of thing.
Okay.
But looks like there's 2 levels, and this main door probably leads into the lower level. So you knock, and after a couple minutes, you hear like clop hooves, like really lightly, and then the door opens just a crack. And you see a centaur. He's really kind of haggard looking. Actually, his beard looks really unkempt right now. Kind of peek around the corner and look at you.
Hi, are you the centaur they call Milosh?
Yes.
Hi, I'm Ulala Kaluru Kiral.
What are you selling?
Girl Scout cookies. I don't know. There's been a... No, I guess I'll drop the Briar's name. Like we're friends. Briar Blade has been showing concern for you. You seem to be a lot... I don't know, I guess less... You seem to be going through a rough time.
Give me a... So that's a little bit of a lie.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead and give me a deception roll. Actually, you know what? Sorry. For certain things, like stealth, deception, and stuff like that, where I don't necessarily want you to know how well you rolled, I'm going to roll them for you.
Okay.
So I've got your numbers for those things written down here. So... Kind of narrows his eyes. And the Briarblade, eh? I wouldn't have expected her to take any particular interest in me in this. Why did she send you? He kind of like looks you over.
I'm the licensed therapist. We're going door to door to talking about people's problems because there's been, some concern lately in the neighborhood with all the...
What would you know of my problems?
Well, we're here to talk.
I don't know you. I don't have any reason to talk to you.
Do you want a friend?
Give me a persuasion roll on that one.
I'm a really good listener. Oh, no.
What's your total?
It's there. I guess so. 11?
Okay. He kind of looks like he's not really open to it, and then after a second he kind of his face kind of falls and he says, I don't deserve friends. I got all of my friends killed.
I can see because of the morning symbols that you're going through something right now. Seems quite painful.
He just told you all of his friends died.
Whatever.
He just told you all of your friends died. Yes, he's going through something painful right now. You're a great therapist.
I am.
You do listen well.
More so than you would know. Kind of looks... He opens the door more, sticks his hat out, looks around. He says, why are you really here?
I like the ominous music.
Door-to-door therapist. That's awesome.
Why am I here?
You continue to lie and say, I'm the door-to-door therapist.
You're not there.
Sorry, should I not be?
You guys decided to split the party. You have to suffer the consequences.
It's going great.
We'll just critique her after she's made her decisions.
While you're kind of thinking, I'm going to cut.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what are you two doing?
Gonna go hang out with my Vidalcan buddy.
Okay.
Or, yeah.
Would it be easier if we did it together for you, or you're okay?
I'm okay
Actually,
separating you guys out. I just...
Maybe,
I'm struggling
maybe I don't
on
want to
my
go
own.
with my Vidalcan buddy. Actually, I should go visit, what's her face? Ludmilla, and see if I can buy information from her
Okay.
with all the gold we have about him.
And I'll head to the pub again, the same one I was at
Okay.
before Turbine.
It's quicker for you to get to the pub than it is for you to get to the crypts. So we'll go with you.
Okay, sounds good. So
By the time you get to the crypts, it is nighttime. Just so you know, you get to the pub kind of about the same time she gets to Milosh. So
okay, so is my buddy working?
yeah,
Can I see him?
Yeah.
Okay, so just walk up and say, hello, friend, can I get another ale?
it's like wait, hold on. Trying to remember this guy's voice. Came back, huh? Sure. Yeah, here you go.
So how goes the experiments?
Oh, my license was taken away. The only experimenting I do now is mixing drinks.
You gonna let a little thing like a license stop you from
Well, no. One of my drinks did kill a guy.
All right, I'm glad I went with the L.
Yeah, it's a smart choice. I'm not much of a mixologist.
Good to know. I'll keep that in mind. So, I heard there's a lot of talk and clamor in the streets about Cranko. What
He kind of like leans back.
Not a fan?
He's my brother, and he's kind of an asshole.
So you're definitely not a fan.
Yeah, haven't talked to him in about 15 years.
That's sounds like it might be a fortunate thing from the rumors I'm hearing.
Yeah, he's not exactly a good person. He got me in trouble with the law more than a couple times.
Yeah. You know, family. What can you do?
Mm-hmm.
All right, that's interesting. Did I ask this guy his name before?
Nope.
Okay, so what's your name? I'm Uzeth.
Gark.
Bless you. Just kind of do a little wink thing at him.
You want to crack jokes on that, or you got some questions or something?
I'm just here to drink, friend.
Oh, well, all right.
Friendly
then.
face.
All right. I can get behind that.
All right, so I'll go ahead and finish my drink and order another.
Okay.
And if you want to switch to him, I need to rethink something
Sure.
strategy-wise.
Yeah.
Was not ready for that, brother.
So, can I just find Lumidia wherever she's at, or do I just have to
I mean, you know the crypt she typically hangs out in,
Mm-hmm.
so
Yeah.
if she's not there, she's not there. But that's, you don't know where to find her if she's not there.
Right. So yeah.
Okay.
Actually, do I want to do that? I can't make up my mind what I want to do. Anyways, I said I'm already going there, so I'm going there. Gonna
Alright.
out of the crypt.
As you're going down to the crypt, you're like, should I be here right now? I'm already here.
Well, yeah, I don't have a good reason. My imagination says if she's like, why do you care about this guy? I don't have a good answer for that, aside from I don't know, some buddies.
We'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
All right, so yeah, you get to the crypt, and you as you step in through the entryway, there is a new statue. Looks like a Simic hybrid that was kind of rearing back. And
Have I pieced
frozen stone?
Have I pieced together what these are, or do I just assume someone's sculpting them? Okay, that's on me. Okay.
I mean, I'm sure you've heard rumors of what a Medusa is, but I could be wrong. Give me an Arcana check
Oh, okay.
to see if you know about a Medusa.
No, I don't.
You do not know about Medusa. So, as far as you're concerned, she's just commissioning these statues and someone's bringing them to her.
Man, she really likes statues.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, I hang out the crypt. I guess I'm gonna. I'm gonna find some piece of rubble and sit down in front of the new statue and try and write some poetry about it, because it just really is capturing the current anguish. Well, anguish. I love the face, and then because it's Simic, it's some hybrid, and all the people I live with, I basically live in a Simic experiment, and it just encapsulates my life so much right now.
Okay. So you get down there and you're like, I need to find this Ludmilla, but first poetry.
Well, I see. We said this is the crypt that she normally hangs out.
Yep.
In. So I'm just gonna hang out until she shows up.
Okay. So you are composing some poetry. Give me a performance roll to see how well it's going.
This is the first draft.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
Pretty solid first draft.
Yeah, pretty solid.
Yeah.
Draft. So it's 14.
It's just kind of flowing, I don't know. You translate what you're seeing in living stone into ink on the paper, and it's just flowing like butter. Everything's going great.
Awesome.
And then kind of in the middle of it, when you're just yes, all of a sudden you hear footsteps, the clatter of stones kind of being kicked behind you.
Okay. I guess I ask, be like, who's that?
She says, I should be asking you that question.
Do I recognize that voice?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think this guy right here, he had a very troubled life. And I make up the backstory that I clearly have for this character that I'm writing about. Because I assume that's my assumption. She's talking. Well, we know each other. Yeah. So we just make up some character story about the poetry I'm writing about this guy.
Interesting. Are you here for a particular reason? Or are you just looking for inspiration?
I'm here for a particular reason. I need some information about a guy, Vidalkin, named Otravok.
By the way, folks at home, this is kind of what Ludmilla looks like. Right there.
Okay.
Not at all scary.
Looking for information about a guy. How wonderfully specific.
Yeah. I have his name and his race, and that's all I can say right now. All right. Guys, don't ever ask me to ask questions, and I have the money to pay for it.
Money. How pedestrian.
Yeah, well, that's what I work with.
What is his name?
Otravok.
And he is...
Vidalkin.
Vidalkin. What do you wish to know about him?
I wish to know where he works and who his friends are.
Very well. What are you willing to trade for this information?
I have 10 gold coins.
Perhaps come back to me when you have something more valuable.
Okay. What do you value this information at?
It depends on what this person is involved in. If he is just a nobody, perhaps 10 gold pieces will be sufficient. But with no way for me to know that ahead of time, 10 gold pieces is far below my asking price.
I guess I should have. Maybe do I? Would I have it? No, I don't. I don't have any idea about the money transaction. I just move stuff. Okay.
You know that you typically, for a delivery, typically get paid a gold piece or two.
Mm-hmm.
So enough to kind of keep you
Yeah.
renting the place that you're at and being able to buy food. She says, although, were you willing to subject yourself to a few investigative procedures, I might be willing to do this for you for free.
Oh yeah. We're not talking about exploratory surgery procedures, right? Words are important.
That is a great question.
I am not Simic, but I do have some academic interests in your nature.
Wait, was that a yes? My nature?
Your spark.
Aren't we all interested in that?
Yes, I'm wondering if it can be extracted.
Okay. The answer is yes.
Yes, you were willing to do this.
Yeah. Well, sorry. Meta perspective. Karn gives away his spark.
Oh, okay.
Or
Sorry. Out of character saying yes. Okay.
Sorry. Character voices help a lot.
Oh, hold on a sec. Something that can be tough to do a scene on your own. Fall back on your character traits if you can't think of what to do next. If you have training and performance, you can say, I wax poetic about Medusa statues, and then roll for performance. Now that I just finished writing this, you did exactly that. That must be psychic. Good call, Kashira. Good call.
Yeah. So. Yeah, that's a steep. That sounds pretty steep.
I'm not asking to extract your spark. I'm asking to explore whether or not it can be extracted. There is a difference.
There's a difference, but if you're correct, it does end up extracted. Unless you want to subject some other people to the experimentation.
What the hell was that?
Excuse you.
Yeah.
I have no particular need of extracting your spark at this point in time.
Right.
As I said, it's merely a hypothesis that I'd like to explore.
All right.
You can imagine that the spark of a planeswalker would fetch a hefty price.
I would. Yes. That sounds.
Although yours seems rather diminished. You may not be worth as much.
It's okay. I have more valuable skills than just planeswalking.
In certain circles, I suppose. She actually cracks a bit of a smile at that.
Yeah. This. I can't do that. My spark is my muse, and I don't want to take a risk in that area.
Very well, I respect that.
But
Should you come upon anything else you feel is valuable enough to exchange for this information, seek me out again.
sounds all right. Well, I like the work. Hope you get another one soon. These guys are great. Who is the sculptor? I would pay for that information too.
I do my own work.
Oh wow, you're very talented.
Thank you. I look forward to reading your poem when you are finished with it.
Thank you. I'll be sure to send a copy your way.
Thank you. Now, if you'll excuse me.
All right. Nice chatting with you.
She just watches you leave. Like
Yeah.
Tentacle hair writhing. She doesn't blink.
I very carefully don't look at her.
You don't know anything about Medusa, so...
Yeah, you pretty much have a conversation like this, right?
Yeah, if you knew, it'd be a full face, like, visored helmet. All right, so let's go back to you.
All right.
Mylosh is, why are you really here?
Well, besides the Briar being concerned with you, there's been talk amongst the birds that your... What is it? Not cautiousness. Yeah, your isolation might have something to do with being blackmailed, and we're quite concerned about it.
He kind of, like, looks up in the trees.
What?
He takes a step back and opens his door and gestures for you to come in. Says, I suppose it should have been... I suppose I should have known that someone would find out eventually. What do you need to know?
Take it. Why is someone blackmailing you? Do you know who's blackmailing you?
I don't know who. It's a small woman, slight of build. I assume it's a woman. I've never seen her face, but her voice sounds like a woman. Hold on a second.
Do we know any women that we haven't seen their face of?
I mean,
Maybe like a Medusa whose face is a woman and we wouldn't see her face of. But that's just a little convenient.
Again, I don't know who she is. I've never seen her face. Slight of build. A female voice. My friends died because of me. I've been called idealistic before. a good friend of mine from my childhood. I tried to convince him to join us here with the Selesnya, but instead he allied himself with the Gruul.
Okay.
I was trying to create a bridge between us and them. We have certain philosophical similarities. Our guilds do. And I met a Gruul chieftain, I suppose you might say, who seemed like he was willing to join me in a partnership. My friends went to meet him, and his warband slaughtered them all.
I'm so sorry to hear that.
And it's my fault. I was the one who encouraged my friends to meet with him.
I see. Anyone would be depressed by that situation.
What is this music? Also, how does it keep getting louder when I keep turning it down? It says, I was a fool. But this woman, whoever she is, she somehow covered up my involvement. By the time I was getting ready to report what had happened, it was already known that my friends had gone to meet with these Gruul murderers, and they were killed due to their own foolish, naive ignorance.
All right.
And she came to me and she told me that my part in this would be revealed if I didn't give her what she wanted.
And what did she want from you?
Access to the guild.
And what did you tell her about our guild? Or this guild?
You said our guild.
Yeah.
She's asked me for a list of names. I haven't finished acquiring it yet.
Right. What are the names on this list so far?
Guard captains, mostly. I'm concerned that she seeks to blackmail them in the same way, manipulate them.
All right.
I know that I should just go to the guild, but if I do, they would likely kick me out, at the very least, if not kill me. I don't know that I can live without the support of the Selesnya. I've been with them for so long.
Yeah, you've already lost all your friends, so it's best to just stay close to home, I suppose.
Every day's a reminder, though. It is a slow death.
I want to make a joke about bear claws, but it feels really, really somber right now.
You're a great therapist. Keep it up.
This is perhaps if you were able to find out who this woman is, I might be able to finally admit the truth and see what happens.
All right. Small woman. Do you talk often with this female?
I've only met her once. She expects me to deliver the names sometime soon, before the next full moon.
Okay.
She told me she would find me here.
All right, so she'll be coming to you. All right. Can I roll to see if he's hiding anything?
Sure, you can roll an insight.
Yeah. All right.
Sofia's dice are on fire tonight.
Yeah, that's 23.
This is to make up for when she rolled less than 10, like 90% of the time last time we played.
All right, so 23. He does not seem as if he is holding back any information. He legitimately regrets what happens, and what happened. He clearly is broken up not only by what he did, but the fact that he hasn't just come forward with it. Mm-hmm. But he, like, obviously the fact that someone is holding it over his head is kind of making him feel very trapped right now.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm very interested in this woman, and I hope to find her before the next full moon, so you can continue living your life as best as you can.
If I can do anything to help, let me know.
Thank you. Do like a fist bump or something. Just walk away.
Do you try to give him a fist bump?
No.
Okay. Yeah. He kind of
He doesn't have fists. He's a centaur. Or, he does have hands. Fists. Sorry, I'm dumb.
He kind of, like, turns away and says, "You can see yourself out." And he walks further into the house.
Mm-hmm. I thank him once more, and then I show myself out.
Okay. Samson. Or, excuse me, Yuzef.
So, friend, tell me more about this drink that you permanently bedded a guy with.
Ah. Well... I was trying to basically mix whiskey with alchemist's fire. Set it on fire, hopefully burn off the alchemist's fire, give the whiskey a nice smoky taste, but instead it scorched the man's lungs and insides.
You know you have to put those out before you drink them, right?
Well, I made the recommendation as well, but he was having none of it, so...
That's clearly not your fault.
Thought it would be interesting to see what happens, so I didn't push the issue.
So, what kind of stuff do you normally do around here to stir up trouble or have some fun?
I mean, kind of like looks down the bar. A couple patrons down the bar kind of give you side eye. He's like, "We don't talk about it in polite company around here."
Just saying, it seems kind of quiet, and seems like some interesting stuff happening would be entertaining.
Well, let's just say that when night falls, the folks who hang out around here aren't exactly inclined to go home. There's some interesting stuff to be done.
Tell me about it. I'm all ears.
Kind of like looks at the other patrons in the bar. He's like,
So, can I roll a perception check for the other people? Like,
sure.
If I'm picking up anything off of them? No, I have not.
Okay. It's like, I don't know. There's a lot of stuff that we could get into some trouble for. You know how it is. The Boros, the Azorius, the Orzhov. Ugh, don't even get me started on the Orzhov.
Well, I was wondering if maybe there's a way we can... One of the benefits of this experiment is that I haven't met a poison yet that can drop me. I'm wondering if there's any way we can maybe scam some people, make some money off of it. You seem like the person that would be interested in getting in on this.
He kind of, like, again, he's still kind of like reaching up to the top of the bar. He's kind of drumming his fingers on the edge of the bar. Hang on a second. He kind of rummages around, pops back up, puts a bottle.
Down it.
He's, whoa, hey there. Oh, God. Someone call a coroner. Yep, thank you.
Just kind of, oh, that was delicious. What else you got?
Good God, what is wrong with you?
That's what I'm hoping you can maybe help me find out.
Seriously? Nothing? You got nothing?
I mean, I'm still thirsty.
Huh. Now that is really something. You know, actually there is something you might be able to help us out with. There's this thing. We've been trying to bag it. We're, he kind of like looks at one of the guys near the door. He's like, lock it. The guy locks the door. It's like, we have a bit of a hunting party going on here. There's some stuff that crawls out from Dead Bridge Chasm every once in a while. Big bat-winged things and giant bugs and whatnot. Really scary stuff. Don't know if it's Simic or if it's Golgari. I don't know what it is, really. But it makes for some really, really exciting, experimental opportunities. And these things are dangerous. Like, every once in a while, they'll break into a house and snatch up whole families. It's bad. So we're doing community service, really, when you get right down to it. We may blow up the occasional building or two, but it's all in the name of the community.
I understand that. What's in it for us? This community service.
Who's this us?
Yeah, you're the one that mentioned us.
I said we, not as in including you.
Interesting. So what's my role in this then?
Well, one of these things has a pretty nasty poison. It's got a stinger. You know how those Simic, they like them weird, scorpion spider tail things.
Yeah, I've seen some of their stuff, and it was pretty interesting.
Uh-huh.
So what's in it for me if I handle this scorpion guy for you?
I could probably toss some gold your way. If that's what you're interested in.
Gold, my friend. I don't need any gold. I'm going to pull 2 or 3 gold coins out and set them down. Pretty covered on gold. What else you got?
What are you looking for?
Something a little bit more illegal.
For a snake, you sure are just wearing it out on your sleeve there, buddy.
Well,
kind of like that.
I can't hide it, so just rolling with it.
I guess that's true.
How easy do you think it would be to get a guild key?
I'm sorry. A fucking what now?
A guild key.
Oh, God. Maybe this isn't such a good idea.
All right. Well, you looked like the guy that would be able to help me with this.
I didn't say I couldn't help you with it. I just don't think it's a good idea.
Oh well.
But my life is built on bad ideas, so I'm just giving you an out here, buddy.
Oh, well, I see. This is the don't drink the flaming alcohol speech.
Yeah, basically.
Okay, well,
because there's a difference between one guy getting his inside scorched out to the outside, and then pissing off an entire guild.
There is a huge difference. I'm not necessarily saying I want you to get me a guild key. I'm just saying...
You're just asking if I can.
Yes.
Hypothetically.
Yes.
Provide you with a highly controlled illegal item that the guilds would probably murder everybody on the city block for.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I mean,
Which,
as long as we're being plain about it.
Depending on what block we're talking about, could technically be a community service, right?
It's like, yeah, some of the people who live on this block are assholes. No offense, buddy. He kind of looks down the bar. It's like, yeah, they're not very nice people, so... All right, yeah, I can get you a guild key.
All right, so, what time are we going hunting?
What guild?
At this point, I'm not so sure that I have a preference. I'm just, looking for access.
You are just one of the dumbest people I've ever met.
Or I'm a genius.
I guess there's a fine line. All right, yeah. You literally don't have a preference.
I do not.
I'll see what I can come up with. All right, yeah. If you want to bag this thing and bring as much of it back as you can, quite frankly. I mean, try not to turn it into ash because otherwise we don't get what we need out of it. But
Well, is there anything in particular that you need saved on it?
Any of its internal organs would be good.
All right. I will return.
You don't even know where the hell this thing
Oh,
is.
yeah.
You don't even know what it looks like.
Point me in the direction then.
Dead Bridge Chasm.
Dead Bridge Chasm.
Usually comes up, once or twice a week. It's kind of hit and miss. So, just have to kind of keep an eye out.
All right. Something poisonous with bat wings from the chasm.
With a giant stinger tail.
A giant stinger tail.
Yeah.
Well, should I be,
Oh, it breathes lightning.
That's important.
Yeah, I figured I should probably mention that. The other guy's like, don't forget the claws. Oh yeah, claws. It's got big claws.
I'm okay with claws. I can do claws.
All
right. Well, let me see what I can do. And hopefully I'll return with some organs.
All right, sounds good to me. In the meantime, I'll see what I can come up with.
All right, sounds good. I will return.
Are there any guilds you particularly don't want? Like, are you into the freaky Rakdos stuff?
I would be more interested in a guild if it's more difficult for you to get it.
Great. That sounds fantastic. Okay. Yeah. So Orzhov then.
Orzhov or I don't know. I just got a weird feeling that maybe some Golgari would be interesting.
I could do Golgari. Yeah. Yeah, Golgari are fun.
All right, let's do that.
I had a girlfriend who was Golgari.
Yeah?
Yeah.
How'd that work out?
I mean, she ended up in mushrooms, so, you know, we kind of broke up, I guess, technically.
Still inside you?
It's hard to give the breakup speech to a fungus.
Yeah, understandable. All right, then. I will return. And, are you going to have a guild key when I come back if I have the goods? Or are you going to have information?
If you come back tomorrow with it, then probably not. But, you know, I'll do what I can.
Yeah, I have a feeling I'm not going to find this prey in a night, but
like, hey man, I'm here.
All right,
you know where to find me.
All right, I'll finish my drink. Compliment the poison for its delicious nature.
He's like, yeah, He kind of like looks at it. He's like, is this the right vial? oh yeah, that's the right stuff. Oh.
All right, I'm gonna head back to the apartment.
Okay. The guy next to the door like kind of unlocks it, kind of giving you the. What the hell are you? Like, look, but doesn't say anything, and the door closes and locks immediately after you. So,
all right.
You already kind of did your thing and left, right?
Yeah.
So you're heading back to the apartment. Okay.
Yeah.
So are you?
Yep, I was heading back.
All right. Yeah, you guys are.
Wrapped up my daily therapy
How do you
session.
guys feel about having your spark experimented on?
Just right out the gate there. All right, I like it.
We all shift away from you.
Yeah. No. That's a
hard pass.
Yeah, hard pass. But I do have an interesting lead on being able to at least get some information on who might be looking for a guild key. So I talked to my goblin buddy, kind of working that over, and I got a job. Basically, I'm going to need you guys' help. We're going to need to kill a creature of some sort that's been coming around and murdering people in the city. If I can get some of the organs of this particular creature, I'm told I can get a guild key.
Yeah.
So I don't know that that's 100% how this is going to play out, but it's a lead. And I did ask for an Orzhov guild key.
Okay.
Because maybe that can benefit us in some way, shape, or form. I don't know.
So Golgari.
Oh, Golgari, I did ask. Yes.
Golgari or
yes.
Orzhov, yeah.
Yes. So maybe that can benefit us and maybe benefit you with your contact.
Yeah, I'm sure they would appreciate getting one of their keys back.
Yeah. Yeah, that's all I got.
Cool.
So, what did you guys find out?
Yeah, Mylosh is definitely being blackmailed by assumably a small woman. And he's making a list of the guard captains for the...
Excellent.
Yeah.
Did you get the list?
Lisnia.
Did you get the list?
He doesn't have it completed yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you know how many people were left?
He didn't say.
I know.
Yeah. He didn't say, but she did want it by the next full moon. Which I think was tomorrow night, right?
It's a few days from now.
A few days from now?
Mm-hmm.
So if we could get the list, maybe we can actually approach some of those people and get information.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe not necessarily warn them, but maybe just
Be around and see.
kind of follow them.
I will say it is 3:42. So I think you said you wanted to take off. So
Yeah, that's a good stopping point.
yeah, I feel like it's a good stopping point. Everybody's kind of met back up.
Yep.
You have some possible courses of action.
We went out of good stuff. You wrote lovely
I
poetry.
did write a lovely
You
poem.
did, yeah. That's the second time you've produced some nice poetry in one session. So you're already well on your way to making a name for yourself.
Did you want to hang on to these?
No, I've got digital copies.
Okay.
So All right, folks, thanks so much for tuning in. We're going to wrap up for the day, and then we will be doing another episode at the end of next month, at the end of March. Typically, we like to do the last weekend of March, or the last Sunday of the month, but that is going to be WonderCon. Woo, WonderCon!
Yeah.
Which we're all going to be at. So,
Live stream from WonderCon.
Ha.
I mean, we theoretically could.
No, sorry.
I mean,
Yeah, that seems...
No, that's a bad idea.
yeah, so no live streams from WonderCon. Not from us, anyways. But it'll probably be the weekend prior to that, which I believe is Sunday the 23rd.
Okay.
Unless... Oh, shoot. Hold on a second. There's a LARP that I promised to be at that weekend. Kind of ends on Sunday, though, so if I got back in time, maybe. We'll figure it out. We'll post when we're going to play the next game. But we will do another one within the next month. And something that I actually meant to talk to you guys about is I'd really like to do a couple of sessions between the actual games where I kind of meet up with you guys online or in person or whatever. And each session is going to be me sitting down and having you go through your collection of cards and building a deck to represent your character.
Oh, okay.
That sounds cool.
So that, because Samson and I were kind of talking, we think it would be really cool to do something later on where we actually play a game of like a magic to represent like an actual duel against
really
like
fun.
a main boss planeswalker. Like I know there's a format where it's like one
Arch
person.
Enemy.
Yeah. So we might try that out. I think that would be kind of fun.
Yeah.
Plus, it would just be interesting to see kind of what you think represents your character from a magic perspective. So yeah,
That sounds awesome.
Great.
we're gonna do that. Thanks again, folks, for tuning in. Don't forget to follow us on our various social medias. I'm at ravensdale.publishing.
At Sour Muse.
1-star people, 5-star games.
On Twitter.
On Twitter and Twitch.
Okay.
And then I'm at Can Hardly Fly on Instagram and Twitter and Facebook.
You'll find the information for all that in the description below if you're watching this on YouTube. And please give us a follow, subscribe, like, all the sales pitch stuff. I can't talk. Sales pitch stuff that all the different channels always, promote at the end of the
Smash
thing.
that like button.
Yeah,
Dip
that's
do
what
the
it
do.
is. Yeah. Click it. Anyways, we'll see you next time. Thanks for tuning in. Bye.
See ya.
Bye.
Where is it?
Doo-doo-doo.